Greetings. So, the Ghanaian president has presented to the world that slavery is the worst case scenario against humanity. And presented it to the world, I guess, at the United Nations headquarters in New York. So, quite a few people were neutral. As people may know, 3 distinct nations were against, and 100 plus said yes. Worst crimes against humanity. You know, I have been making videos because there's a lot of playing in people's face, a lot of gaslighting, you know. I mean, if they're not patronizing with their fingers crossed, it's blatant gaslighting. You know, when black people, in terms of leaders of countries, present something to the world, it's always swept under the rug. It's not important. But let me tell you what they're trying to tell us. They're trying to tell us that we're not human. I'm not sure if people really get that. We're not human. So it's not the worst crimes against humanity. The ancestors did not see us as human. I'm talking about the white nations. Or those who want to be white, like Argentina, killing out the black people, breeding, bringing the Spaniards to breed out the black race. You know, genocide, gentrification, you know. Whether we're 3/5 or 2/5 of a man, we're not human. Our ancestors were not considered humans. If they're telling you that it was not illegal, they're telling you at the time you weren't considered human. You get it? So they're telling you it has nothing to do with morality. They're saying the law is the standard and morality has no weight. This world really can't teach us anything else, you know. This world, this existence has already taught us everything that we need to know. We can't learn anything else. It's just icing on the cake. A lot of people can't say certain things. You can't say murder, you can't say kill, you have to say unalive. You can't say rape, you have to say grape. That is the world we live in. So when you see all these people out here with their opinions, right? And everybody has to accept. You recognize the control, you recognize the slavery. But you know, without this being a short video, the fight is the rich against the poor. Because you go to predominantly black countries, and the people that have money don't treat the people without money very well. And you climb up the ladder to know the globe, where you have a minority of white people. They're not actually white, they're off-white. You know. So they mix up these constructs, these statuses. You know, it doesn't really depict exactly what people are. Some of them red, some of them white, some of them pale, some of them cream. They're saying you're not human. They pillage and plunder, invade, but they are the standard of travel. They control immigration, set up their illegal governments, give you these false gods, and set up these legal systems and act as if they're moral. But we're talking about some of the laziest people in history. All they do is take, pillage and plunder. They feel like the land that you were birthed out of should not be your inheritance. They deserve it. When you hear these people talking about deals, they want to come and tell you the way this deal should be set up to benefit them, and you take whatever they want to give. These people, so-called, who, if they take a shit, they have to wipe their ass. Flesh and blood, live and die, want to come and tell another man, by the way, who have been in existence for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years before any one of them ever step on the scene as an entity, however they came to be. Very shameful, but not surprising, right? So these people come into our lands all over the globe, you know, take what they want, take the land that they want, the prime real estates, they extract the minerals, then they want to tell another human being that you should be subjected to us. Can you imagine? People who had nothing to do, had no power in choosing their skin color. They just happen to be so-called white or whatever they are. It's shameful. Shameful. As usual. You know what happened? Out of their insecurity, they have created a military power and might. That's what they invest in. We allowed Goliath to get to a point of mega Goliath. They don't care about life. Still, after everything in history in regards of war, they still run around, and war is still the order of the day. People saying that this hemisphere is theirs. Can you imagine? Blatantly saying that we're going to colonize. You see? This is what happens when you don't get revenge. This is what happens when you don't do unto others what they did unto you. They can't talk about black on black crime. There is no comparison. When you hear about the murders, the millions of people, because of individuals who are running armies, you can't really compare. A very dirty, dirty situation. And it will forever be. When you look at these rooms with certain presidents, you see a sea of off-white people around them, dictating how the world should operate. They control the markets. They want to control all navigation, the ins and outs and movements of people. You even go to some countries in the East and it's still racism. Seem like every single race and group of people hate melanated or black people. You know that tell me that we were here first. All of them came in and there was civilization in existence here first of melanated people. And over the thousands of years, gentrification, the pushing out, even taking our names, our culture, remixing it, remastering it, re-engineering it. Nevertheless, I'm still glad to be who I am and what I come from, and you can never change that. You so-called people who people have to come to and say, look, step up to the plate and admit this thing, I don't have to ask you guys anything. I know exactly what you are and who you are. And I know exactly what I am, who I am, and who my ancestors were and will forever will be. So I don't have to ask for anything. But for younger generation, it's good that you can pull this truth out of people so people can see. Don't make no mistake about it, ever. I'm not talking about the run-of-the-mill white man who work every day, 9 to 5. I'm talking about those who are in certain leadership positions because of a lot of bloodshed. I'm not talking about the crumbs that certain ones get and that is enough to empower them. I'm talking the ones that can really affect us. They put themselves in that position. They use propaganda to influence those who look like them, but they don't really want to be around because they're poor. I'm talking about their heads. You still gotta wash your ass, remember that.